team here in the city of Chico, we're doing it right.
We all live here and work here. We raise our kids here. People want to be a part of it.
We want to provide and we want to do this for our community.
I really hope everybody's as excited as I am.
Hello, Chico.
Hello, Chico.
Hello, Chico.
Hello, Chico.
Hello, Chico.
Hello, Chico, and welcome to the State of the City.
I just think Chico is so special. Some of my earliest, fondest memories are literally riding in the back of my dad's 1967 Chevy back on the wheel wells when you could do that, and going down Valambrosia by the park and getting an ice cream. Nowhere do you have the outdoor recreation that we have, the sense of community that we have, the amazing downtown that we have. Yeah, we're struggling right now. Let's be honest. Let's look ourselves in the eyes. Let's tackle that. Let's make a plan to fix it. It's super critical that we really hyper focus on what do we want Chico to be and how do we be the best that we can be to do that. And the only way we're going to get there is by having conversations. Chico, why we're all here today. A safe place to raise a family, an ideal location for business, and a premier place to live. That's why we're all here, right? So in early 2025, your council all came together and we had a strategic planning session. Out of that strategic planning session, we all agreed, which is amazing, that our 4 strategic initiatives are a safe community, long-term viability, to protect and enhance our primary community assets. Those are things like downtown, Chico State, tourism, all that kind of good stuff, and a quality civic life. That's what we all want for here in Chico. So if we're going to have a long-term viability, it is imperative that we are fiscally responsible. Luckily, we have very clear budget policies set up in the city of Chico that forces us and make sure that we have a balanced budget every single season. We just finished our first audit since I've been mayor, and I'm happy to say, with the help of our amazing city manager and our financial staff, that we got a clean audit and we are good to go for the following year. Thank you, Mr. Sorensen. And Ms. Martin and her team. We couldn't do all things financial without your guys' great leadership. In order to have long-term viability, we also need to continue to focus our Measure 8 funds on our roads and infrastructure and public safety. So let's talk about economic development. 2025 was a good year for some, but it was tough for others, for sure. Right now, rising food costs, labor, utilities, insurance are just the beginning of what we're all facing as challenges right now. But when there's change, there's also great opportunities for reinvestment and development in those places that change. Chico isn't alone. Nationwide downtowns are in a period of transition, and that's exactly what we're going through right now. Towns like Nevada City, Grass Valley, Petaluma, they've adapted to these new consumer things and entering in new things like entertainment zones. But for downtown business, local repeat business is what's super important, not the one-off and the events that we have down there. So please continue to support your local downtown businesses. Also in economic development, downtown revitalization, that's a long-term plan. We're working on that. The streets will be designed to increase foot traffic. We're gonna have larger sidewalks, which will foster the entertainment zone and culture and shopping. Short-term, sneak peek coming up. Myself, city staff, and a small team are exploring an entertainment zone for downtown and getting it going as soon as possible. These entertainment zones boost local spending with area-cultured nightlife, arts, restaurants, visitor attractions, support small businesses, more foot traffic, getting people down into those stores, encourages new investments. When people are downtown, when foot traffic is there, it's going to get more visitors downtown. Increase tourism by giving downtown an identity as a destination for culture, nightlife, and community events, drawing visitors from surrounding regions. We're working on an economic development plan right now, a strategic plan. The city is contracted with Audrey Taylor at Chabin Concepts and Dr. Eiler. This economic strategic plan will help see us into the next 3 to 5 years. Audrey Taylor has done this in over 400 communities across the United States, literally from Alaska to New York. And we have her right here in Chico, and I'm super excited to have her and Dr. Eiler working on an economic strategic plan specifically for Chico to see us into the future. We've just begun engaging with all the different sectors in the economy for this plan, so if you haven't heard from us, don't worry. We just got started. There's going to be lots of breakout groups and lots of different things, and we will be including all sectors and taking information from everybody to ensure we have a good report coming back to our council for us to have a guide for the next 3 to 5 years for us. So let's talk about public safety, one of our pillars in our strategic plan. If we don't have a safe community, then where are we? Safe community is immensely important to this council, and we have put public safety. We couldn't have it without our amazing police and fire department, and you're going to hear from that a little bit later. Public safety staffing is a priority, as well as equipment and facilities. You can see one of our beautiful new, I don't know, what are they now, $1 million fire trucks we have there. But it's amazing and beautiful, and we're so excited to have it. So let's look at the numbers. In 2020, we had 90 sworn officers. Today, we have 105. But the really big one and the amazing one to me is the dispatchers. In 2020, we only had 15 dispatchers, and we are up to 25 now. We are actually fully staffed. At one point, all of these dispatchers were on mandatory overtime for weeks on end. So I can only imagine it's a much better work environment, and we're doing much better. And it is not going to happen while I am here that you're going to dial 911 and there's not going to be somebody there. So yay for our dispatchers. It's the hardest position. Fire department. We've been working really hard to increase our fire department and staffing at our fire stations. I'm happy to report that we executed, we are back to 2008 levels, except for the station at Engine 3, which is out at the airport, which we don't need yet because we don't have air service, but when we do, that'll be staffed as well. However, when you look at the number of incidents, we're back to 2008 staffing, but we've more than doubled or almost tripled our amount of responses we have. So we still have a ways to go, but we will get there. Another exciting update is we're going to be reopening Engine 1. We anticipate staffing Engine 1 in early March. The next significant department objective is going to be getting Engine 6 going. That's not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen next year, but it is on our radar. We're talking about it. We're planning for it. We need to get it done sooner than later. The longer we wait, the more it costs, but isn't that always the way that we go in government? We have more needs than money, but we're going to get there. Homelessness, everybody's favorite subject. Despite 2 motions at the federal court to protect our fire-prone areas, get some clarification on the terms of the Warren Settlement Agreement, talk about operational policies, we were not successful. However, we only have 1 year left, actually 349 days, not that anybody's counting. And we will be talking very soon at council about what post-Warren looks like. There is a lot to talk about of post-Warren. It's not going to be the flip of a switch when that day happens. We need to talk about the size of the Genesis shelter. We need to talk about the operational budget to run it and the terms of the stay. How long can you be there? What's management going to look like? What is case management going to look like? Genesis has seen amazing results. We have people actually changing their lives out there. There's people that all across the spectrum is what's happening. You have some people that are actually working, having jobs, driving to their jobs, and using Genesis as that place to land while they get to the next place. We have people that have moved in permanent housing, subsidized housing, and there's people that have been in the same place that they've been since they got there several years ago. So it's doing amazing, I think, with some good, reasonable, common sense changes. Once Warren is over, we'll continue to see even better success in use of our monies that we're putting into the Genesis shelter. Lastly, we've made some great improvements to the alternative site on Eaton and Cohasset. You can see on the left there in September of 2025 what it looked like and what it looks like today. Council came together and voted unanimously to staff that site. And it's not 24 hours a day, but there is staff out there 7 days a week, and intensive case management. We've reduced the number of people that are there from 25 to there's only 5 residents left there. and we will continue to do intensive case management with those 5 and hopefully get them to a better place and over to, ideally, the Genesis so they can keep working forward on where they're at. We've been tracking what we've been doing to date. We've taken, from the beginning of the Warren Settlement Agreement, 2,100 tons of debris has been removed out of our community. 4.2 million pounds. Just 335 pounds in 2025. We did 87 individual assessments last year, and since the beginning of the Warren Settlement Agreement, we've done 720 individual assessments with individuals in our community. That's a lot of work that those case managers and the staff from Genesis have been doing. So thank you to Amber and her great staff for doing all that. Let's talk about infrastructure and capital improvement. And we're going to have maintaining and enhancing our infrastructure is absolutely key to that long-term viability. We can't have long-term viability if we don't have great roads. We're committed to dedicating our into the infrastructure through those projects. You're going to hear more about the capital improvement plan from Brendan, so I'm not going to take a lot from him. But just so you can see the 2026 upcoming projects, here's a small list of them: Floral South Park, Pavement Reach, Slurry Seal. I'm so excited that we're doing some of these slurry seals. We just did it up in Cal Park. It's what maintains the roads, gives us longer out of them. I know a lot of people are like, why are you taking care of that road that's brand new when you could be taking care of this one over here? It has a lot of potholes. We're doing that so it doesn't end up with the ones with the potholes in a few years. So it saves us a lot of money in the long run, and it truly is the way to go. I want to thank Brendan Audubon and his team on the second floor. We could not get through the amount of projects that we're getting through if that second floor wasn't grinding. And I know you guys are working late into the nights and doing a lot of things to make all that happen. So thank you. And you'll get more detail from him on those in just a minute. And if you didn't see a project that's near and dear to your heart on that 2026 list, here's what's happening in 2027, so maybe it'll be on that one. But again, we're working out, we're already talking about 2026, 2027, 2028, and that plan, and we will continue to move forward. I was supposed to tell you about potholes, in case you don't know, we have some potholes. And there is actually a phone number that you can call, but better yet, you can email in to my right-of-way or whatever it is, right-of-way maintenance at chicoca.gov. You can report it, let it know, and staff will get to it as soon as they can. They're not here right now, but our operations and maintenance staff, on top of everything else that they're doing and the regular infrastructure projects and the roadway maintenance and everything, these guys are going, and gals, are going above and beyond to go do those things after they do all their regular duties that they have to do. So way to go to our operations and maintenance. Infrastructure. Let's talk about North Valley Fiber. This is super exciting. Some people may not know what North Valley Fiber is because we have a lot of fiber going into the ground right now in our community. But North Valley Fiber is the city of Chico's, fiber network. The project has reached some major milestones this year. More than half of the conduit and over a quarter of the fiber optic cable is in the ground. This project brings reliable and affordable high-speed internet to underserved persons and underserved areas. This project is a significant investment in Chico's future, again, going back to that long-term viability, and we're committed to completing the project with care, accuracy, and transparency. We should be having paid subscribers, the most important part, people paying for it, in the next couple of months and have activity ready to go. We're starting in the Chapman area. It'll include the police department and downtown City Hall, so that'll all be connected if there's ever emergencies and things like that in the future. But I'm super excited for Chapmantown to have that what is that, side of town. I'm terrible with my northeast, southwest side of town to let it start there. We had a great ribbon cutting, and the people that are running that project on the North Valley Fiber, they are super in tune to what's going on, available to talk to, care about what they're doing, and they've really been a great team to work with. So thank you to North Valley Fiber and making us connected. And last but not least, Major H funds. Thank you so much again to the voters in entrusting this to us as your city council to invest and use wisely. We committed when we put it on the ballot that we would put it into roadways and public safety, and that's, as you can see on the slide, that's exactly what's been done. Almost $49 million going into our roadways and about 31.5 into public safety. And as all good budgeting should go, we've set aside a reserve and rainy day fund in case there's something, and we've put that away for you. So with that, I want to thank you all. Hopefully I haven't taken too much time, but I really appreciate you. I enjoy being your mayor. I love you all. Thank you for being here, and have a wonderful day.
Fell in love with Chico in college, and just worked on a project for the city as a consultant, and then they had a job opening, and before I knew it, I was the youngest director in the state of California. I can't drive down a street now in Chico without thinking about how we can make it better. When we're out on weekends at 20th Street Park for soccer, taking mental note of the things like, shoot, I gotta go fix that. You're out there with the rest of the community. You're part of the community. Our team has exceeded expectations of being able to deliver projects, pushing them through the process as streamlined as possible. It's extremely rewarding to be able to see other people in our community using and enjoying these pieces of infrastructure.
All right, good morning. Thank you very much for having me today. It's true, my kids get tired of hearing me in the car recognizing potholes and roads that need to get fixed, and so it is one of the benefits. It's a blessing and a curse, I guess, of living and working in the community, but we take so much pride. I know that our whole team, not just our department, but the whole city team, does that in everything we do, so it really is a pleasure and a privilege to be able to work here and do the things we get to do. So today we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about our pavement management program and then talk more globally about our capital improvement program. So if I had to just real quickly summarize the state of public works for the city of Chico as we close 25 and we enter 26, I would say effective and proud. Effective in that we've delivered historic levels of projects and infrastructure improvements the last couple of years and moving into the future here. And proud of our community. Measure H has been a huge thing for us. No one wants to get taxed, but we're doing our best to maximize what we do with those dollars in our everyday lives and at work. Proud of our city councilor and city manager, Mark Sorensen, for committing those resources to things like infrastructure that the community said they wanted. And then proud of our staff and our team and partners that we work with on all these projects, whether it's Cal Water, PG&E, CARD, you name it. We work together with all these entities so that we're being very efficient and effective with the dollars we spend. So we've been very fortunate, and we're looking forward to continuing to do so. So first, picture tells 1,000 words. So obviously you're looking at Rio Lindo in 2024 here before we reconstructed it. And then now what it looks like is obviously a significant improvement. What you don't see is what we've done is not just do the surface improvements and overlays, we're fixing base repairs so that these roads last the test of time. We get longevity out of it, and we have reduced long-term maintenance costs. So we're not just doing a surface treatment, we're doing a bottom-up approach so that we don't kick the can down the road and make it more expensive in the future. So from a network standpoint, our roadways consist of about 330 miles of roadways. Through our pavement management program, our roads are assessed on a scale of 0 to 100, 0 basically being a gravel road, 100 being a brand new paved road. We do this kind of on a every couple year basis, but we track it and update it annually. So with the influx of Measure H, you can see kind of a step up there. But what this shows us is as much as we've done, we also still have a long ways to go. I do want to add that sometimes, as Mayor Reynolds said, sometimes we'll do a full reconstruct, and that's like you saw there on Rio Lindo. Sometimes we do pavement preservation. So it's a balancing act of looking at it from a holistic perspective of not just fixing the worst first cases, but also catching those roads before they fail. It's about 14 times more expensive to do a full reconstruct than doing like a slurry seal pavement preservation type of project. So it's extremely important that we look at it holistically. We're efficient with those dollars that we spend as taxpayer dollars and being stewards of those taxpayer dollars. All right, capital improvement program. So our capital improvement program doesn't just consist of roads. We don't just work on roads. It's basically, we work with our maintenance, our operations and maintenance department. Anything that our crews can't do, it essentially becomes a capital project. So we work together and collaboratively, again, to be efficient with how we do things. Anything that our maintenance folks can't do, we're working collaboratively with them. So this includes roads, bridges, bike paths, sewer lines, sewer treatment plant facilities, storm drain facilities, traffic safety improvements, and so on. And in total, we have 104 projects in various phases of design, environmental review, right-of-way acquisitions, or construction. For those involved with projects, you know it takes years and years to get through a lot of those project development processes before you can actually see something constructed. And so we have projects at those various phases. We're constantly moving forward and then obtaining the funding to be able to build them. So 2025 kind of concluded a historic run for us. In 24 and 25, we did over $85 million in construction. We averaged about 7 projects per year, so you can imagine the dollars per project there. Not only does it improve the built environment as well, but we also hire local contractors. And so we're utilizing those funds. It's hiring local trades jobs. They're buying materials locally, and that money gets reinvested in our community that then creates that economic cycle of getting taxed and creating more revenue for the city, and then we reinvest that into the community. So a big improvement not only in the built environment that we see every day, but also economically, it provides that extra benefit. So rattle through a couple projects that we completed here this year. Bikeway 99 Phase 5, really unique project, obviously, and something that we obtained grant funds to build, and is something hopefully that our community can have as a signature piece of infrastructure and closes gaps and improves safety for the bicycles and pedestrians, as well as removing those conflict points for vehicles. Bruce Road, we are not 100% done. I will say, I know I've heard a lot from people in the community about the smoothness of the road. We're working through those with our contractor. But I think this is an amazing project that really represents the benefits of getting out ahead of new development. As you can see, we built this road out in front of future planned development. And the goal is to reduce the time and money that it costs for developers to build and do what they do best, of building homes, building buildings, and adding to the economics of our community. That was the biggest project in our city's history too. So over $30 million we've expended, and again, lots of different funding sources that make those types of projects happen. Esplanade safety improvements, trying to pay homage to our history, but enhance and make safer and more functional for today's needs. So obviously we added in our bike path along the east side of the corridor there, adding in split rail fencing and improving safety with crossing lengths and durations. Across the Esplanade, we added in the roundabout there in front of Chico Junior High and made a parallel corridor of improvements for bicyclists on Oleander. So that was about an $8 million construction project. Salem Street Bridge. We just completed Salem Street Bridge. Functionally obsolete is the technical engineering term, but basically we widened it. I have a lot of nerdy engineering terms, sorry. Forgive me. But we widened it essentially to accommodate current needs. It didn't have sidewalks and didn't meet our current needs. So we used Highway Bridge Program funding at the federal level to basically demolish this and build a new bridge. And obviously it came out beautiful, trying to keep the historic aesthetics to it as well. Notre Dame Bridge. This is a brand new bridge over behind Marion Park, connecting Marsh Junior High School over to the Marion Park area. And so we utilize grant funds for that. It's still in construction here. We anticipate being fully completed later this summer. And again, another opportunity to just improve circulation, safety, and access to all these new growth areas. And I'm pretty sure everyone's seen this Peterson Memorial Drive through Lower Park. Just such an amazing improvement to our park, and obviously the gem of our city. and came out really well. And we use, again, a bottom-up approach. I would anticipate this roadway is going to last 100 years and serve our community for generations to come. North Bruce Road, back behind us here. This was a full reconstruction again, doing a bottom-up approach and connecting it to the south part of Bruce Road that we've widened, and came out great. Did some enhancements to some of the bike lanes and connectivity there as well. And as Mayor Reynolds mentioned, pavement preservation. We did Amber Grove neighborhood this last year and Cal Park. You start to see small signs of cracking, and that's when the pavement starts to fail. So we, again, coordinate with O&M, do crack sealing, and we slurry seal it, and that is going to extend that life so that we don't have to spend millions of dollars fixing it. It's on the order of hundreds of thousands, not millions. Another big one that probably no one here has seen is out at our sewer plant is our primary clarifier rehab project. So we're going to demolish this year. We just bid it and awarded it. But it's going to demolish it and build it a new one that is going to serve our community. Everyone likes that when they flush their toilet, it goes away. And yeah. If it doesn't work, we get calls and people are very unhappy. So it's important that we get out ahead of those, identify these needs, again, working with our maintenance folks, and we do these types of projects so that it's a cost-effective, long-term utility that we provide to our community. So, looking forward now to 2026. Again, just proud of what we've accomplished through 2025, but we have a plethora of projects in 2026. First, we have our Pomona Bridge replacement. So this will start this summer. Similar to the Salem Street Bridge, we're going to demolish that, widen it, and make it modern to our current needs. Floral Eaton Roundabout. So there at that intersection where development has occurred over the last several years, we're going to be improving that four-way stop with a roundabout to improve circulation and access along the Eaton Road corridor. One of our road rehab projects is 20th Street. So we're going to be going from Highway 99 to Notre Dame Boulevard there in front of the Chico Mall, Chico Marketplace, and improving the pavement conditions there. In addition, last year we did Peterson Memorial. This year we're going to be doing the south side of Big Chico Creek through Lower Park and doing South Park Drive. So now we'll have smooth pavement for bicyclists, walkers, joggers, you name it. All of our great Chico events that happen through the park. And so we're excited to have this one come to fruition as well. Another road rehab project is Cianothus, there behind Pleasant Valley High School football stadium. So we've already removed some of the trees. We're going to be installing curb gutter and sidewalk and more dedicated parking for the high school students. We'll be replanting trees and making it more aesthetic and with current trees that are native to Chico. Park Avenue beautification, we just opened bids on that, so that'll be starting here soon, improving the bike path along the east side of Park Avenue, doing some new art pieces. We just removed the plow there through in the center median, so we'll be replacing that with some updated art, and looking forward to having that project, again, just add to the aesthetics of Chico. Sorry, this seems repetitive, a lot of road rehab stuff coming, but again, it's a symptom of a lot of investment and funding going towards road rehab stuff. Fair Street, multimodal. So we're going to be rehabilitating the roadway there. We're going to be adding in a center turn lane, adding bike lanes, and some drainage and lighting through that whole corridor. This was a grant that we received after the campfire, and so we're looking forward to kind of improving that access and pavement conditions through that area. Another one is North Cedar. So another grant funded combined with Measure H funds. And we're going to be redoing the pavement there, enhancing that curb gutter and sidewalk so it's more accessible and safe for the residents along that area, and access to the bike path that ultimately leads to Chico State. And lastly, our 2026 pavement preservation is Forest Avenue. Again, we work with O&M. They went and buzzed out some of the real failed areas in the wheel track, so you'll notice that. Now we're going to come through with a pavement preservation, slurry seal, and extend the life of that and cover it all up and complete those improvements, fresh striping and everything. So that concludes my portion of the presentation. Thank you all for listening, and thank you.
There's so much to love in this community. I've always wanted to give back something that has been so good to me, and this community has been really good to me. My wife was born and raised here. My kids were born and raised here, and that's the buy-in I have. If I were to think about the one thing that I really enjoy about this community is the way we take care of each other. You can't do any better than that. We're very proud of what we've been able to achieve over the last year. You know, we've set some pretty hefty goals. I want to ensure that we continue to grow this community, bring in quality businesses, and make it a safe place for them to operate their business and for their employees to live, work, and recreate within. I want this community to be very proud of their police department. It's not my police department, it's this community's police department. Well, good morning, and thank you for having me. The first thing I want to do is say thank you to three groups of people. The first is to our community, the second is to our city council members, and the third is to our overall city staff, because without those three groups of people, your police department would not be successful. So let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. So in 2025, you know, it was a continued year of rebuilding the police department. And like I said, we couldn't rebuild that police department without the support of all three of those groups. This number here says 28 total employees, but I want to put it a little more in perspective for you. We actually hired 44. So in law enforcement, some people just don't make it in the training, the academies. Some people decide that it's just not for them, they move on. But in 2025, we actually hired 44 people. 28 of those individuals still remain, and then there's 5 others that we didn't count in that number that are actually hourly employees. So for the red light camera program that we initiated, we had a couple hourly hires that were in that, and then we had some hourly records techs that also assisted us throughout that year. That number is like, well, what all does that include? And, you know, so we have so many different areas in our organization or department and throughout the overall organization of the city of Chico. But I just want to break it down here for you a little bit, just so you have a perspective of where those new hires were placed within your police department. So police officers is typically the first question I get is, how many police officers do you have? How many do you need? And for 2025, we had hired 6 sworn officers. 5 of those were academy trainees, and you know, the one lateral police officer, that means they came from another agency. And you don't hire police officers and not hire support staff. You just can't do it. The work that the police officers generate in the organization takes support staff. And so the rest of these folks are people that I see as our support staff. 4 public safety dispatchers, says 6 current vacancies. That's simply because we don't have the room to train the individuals that we have. We have names attached to positions. So as the mayor said, we've actually filled those positions, and we're just trying to work through the system of training them, and that takes quite a bit of time unless we get lateral dispatchers from other agencies who have the ability to make it through the training program pretty quick. And if they're an entry level, just to tell you how hard that job is, it's typically about a year of training before we release them to work on their own. So I agree, the hardest job in law enforcement is being a dispatcher. I couldn't do it. I don't have the patience for it. And those ladies that are in there are angels, and I give it to them for what they do. It's amazing. Records technicians, those are the folks that, you know, they go through and get all of our reports to the district attorney's office and over to DOJ and to the federal government for our mandatory reporting requirements. Communication specialist, I hired a new public information officer last year. That's Kayla Gates. She might be in the room somewhere here. She was supposed to sneak in at some point. But if you follow our social media, she is killing it. I mean, I have to put the leash on her and pull her back and say, hey, let's calm it down a little bit. But she's doing a great job. I lost the one communication specialist I had for a while. She left to go to CHP to be theirs. And to me, I say that's a win, because we trained someone so well at our police department that CHP even wanted to take them from us. So But Kayla's killing it. 4 community service officers, those are the folks that you'll see either working in our jail or taking what we call cold police reports, your burglaries that are found after a period of time, thefts, and things of that nature. We're currently training one who's going to be operating our red light camera program. We actually got him from Reading Police, who has the red light camera system up there. He's got 3 years of experience in that area, and so it'll be pretty seamless for him to start operating that system for us. Animal control officers, we hired one who's finished training. 4 animal services associates. Those are the folks that when you go to the shelter and you say, hey, I want to see a dog or a cat, they help you, walk through the shelter and pick the right animal for yourself. And animal services technicians, those are the ones that help, like your registered vet techs, provide the health to the animals, the health care to the animals. So we have 106 authorized police officer positions and 3 park ranger, sworn park ranger positions. And right now we are fully staffed with those positions other than the park ranger. We have 1 opening for the park rangers, and we have it says 1 police officer vacancy, but I have 5 lateral police officers that are just dying to get started with this. So your police department, in terms of your sworn staffing, is currently full, and people are waiting to be put into the training program. So that's an amazing accomplishment that we have achieved since I took over, and we were about 40 positions short in terms of getting people to fill those positions. So amazing work that's been done from across the organization and from you as a community in passing Measure H. So our dispatch center, they handle both police and fire. Here you see the numbers of generated calls that they're handling within that center. The fire department, you see there, citizen generated. That means a citizen called 911 for an emergency of some sort, whether it's medical or a fire or an accident of any sort. Self-initiated means like your fire prevention officer or maybe even a fire crew said, hey, there's something going on, we need to check on it, for a total of over 20,000 calls. That's quite a number of incidents there for the fire department. And then for the police department, citizen generated 71,000 calls, over 71,000 calls for service into our center for help, and the officers being proactive with over 15,000 calls for that total of 86,000, a little over 86,000. See the grand totals there? Those numbers are not small. Those are big numbers for a community this size. The police department, the fire department, we run constantly. It is very busy. These officers that are working out on the street, we pay them for their lunches because we call them away from their lunches all the time. And I can tell you right now, I don't ever hear one employee complaining. And that's pretty amazing. When you work this hard, this much every single day, and if you divide the numbers up by the number of officers that are on patrol, there's 48 patrol officers assigned to 8 teams in the patrol division. So divide that number up, and that tells you their workload. So pretty incredible number. One of the most looked after situations in the city right now that's taken a ton of our time, a ton of our resources, not only from the police department's perspective, but from Public Works with their crews that help us out. And that's the Warren settlement agreement that we're currently in. And I'm sorry, Mayor, 349 days? 349 days. And we're doing everything by the book. We're wearing the white hat every single day out there. My goal is to get us through the next 349 days of the settlement agreement without any kind of disputes that are going to potentially jeopardize us getting extended into that settlement agreement. I can't tell you, every day when I go to meetings, people are asking me questions about this, or they're complaining about something. You guys aren't doing this, you aren't doing that, and they just don't understand the complexities of the Warren settlement. And I try to educate people. And so I would tell you that if you don't quite understand it, it's online, read it. When you read it, you're going to absolutely be shocked at how much we have to restrain ourselves as an overall organization, being the city, to manage this effectively and not get ourselves extended into it. So we are absolutely doing it right every single day. We're doing it, number one, we're doing it with compassion. And I think that's probably one of the most important pieces in that, is that we are doing everything we can to help people get the assistance they need to get back on their feet, be a productive member in society. And that should be the goal of any kind of program that is tackling the homeless issue in our nation. So you know what we do here. We identify those areas, those people. We provide notice on the encampments. We provide them with sheltering options. And then we go to the next phase of it where we enforce. And then during that enforcement in 2025, our target team led that effort of clearing 492 encampments, contacting 392 individuals. I will say that we are at the point where we are contacting what we have identified as the service-resistant folks. So that number of 392 includes contacting the same person multiple times, over and over and over, kind of like herding cats around the city, if you will. The encampments, we move them from one spot and they just go to another, and it's the same people. We got to go and start the whole 17-day process over again. Frustrating that's putting it lightly. So I had the engineer sitting beside of me, do some math for me. City staff removed 1,844 cubic yards of contaminated debris, approximately 250 tons in 2025 from these encampments. So I looked at the engineer and I said, give me some sort of reference, because everybody, if you don't really understand those measurements, how do you put it into perspective? And so, being the engineer he is, and he spun the propeller real quick and said, okay, here's what you want to do is describe this room in here, about 40 by 40 by about 20 feet high. Now fill it up with garbage. That's what we removed in 2025. So if you try to picture that real quick, of all that debris in this room, that's what we're challenged with yearly. And I know the mayor talked about an overall number, which, if you just basically say 4 times that amount, it is a huge amount of work for our city staff. So some technology, this is one thing I wanted to point out to everyone in here this morning in terms of technology that we have been utilizing for a while, but we've been expanding it. And a lot of people say, well, why do you need to expand this program? And I want to make it very clear. The license plate reader program is something that we have found has helped us solve everything from as low as simple shoplifts at businesses around the community, which have plagued the state, and all the way up to homicides, to include killing of an Oakland police officer. We used our system to find them coming through our city. And so what we've done is expanded that system so that hopefully as soon as Caltrans approves the permits for the highway for us, you won't be able to get in or out of the city without coming past an entry or exit point and having not passed through one of those license plate readers. Now, we only utilize those for investigations. We don't sit around and look at them and have no desire to see who comes in and out of the city just for no reason. But when we have a crime and we have a potential plate for a vehicle of a suspect or a description of a vehicle, we can enter it into this system and it'll say, hey, you came through this intersection this many times. And when a person during an investigation, during an interview says, no, I was never there, well, you see how we use it now. We say, yes, you were. And hopefully that helps us solve a case. But we are expanding that. We added 3 new intersections in 2025. And in 2026, hopefully we'll get the final permits for the highway piece from Caltrans. And then that'll complete the overall goal for our license plate reader program. Our animal shelter and animal services folks, I can tell you this right now, and I say this all the time. There's 2 things that'll get me fired really quick in this city, and that's if you don't appropriately handle animal issues or kid issues, and in that order. This community cares about animals, and I'm being facetious, obviously, but this community does care about animals, and I can tell you that this facility here was built, I think, Mark, help me out, in the late 60s, I believe it was, somewhere in that range. We've decided to keep working on it and put some money into it. We've cleaned it up. We've updated it. We have the new shelter or the kennel next to it that we've upgraded with some air-conditioned units for the animals. Great project that we needed for sure with the hot summers around here. But I just want you to look at those numbers right there. Those are incredible numbers when it comes to animals in our community. And our shelter staff, they work hard every day in that shelter to make sure that those animals are cared for. And anytime I go out there, I typically will show up just unannounced and just start walking through and see if anybody comes out to help me. As soon as I get there, someone's running out. Hey, how are you doing today? And if they don't know who I am, they'll start offering me an animal of some sort. And if my wife were with me, she'd say, yes, let's get a couple. I say, absolutely not. But as I walk through that facility, what I find is that those employees working out there truly do care about animals, and they try to take care of them the best that they possibly can in the shelter that we have. But those numbers are incredible. Cared for almost 1,500 animals, adopted out over 678. Returned, that means someone lost their animal, it got out of the yard or the fenced area or whatever. Returned over 337 to their owners. Assisted in the return of 10 cats after trapping and spay-neuter. Transferred 100 animals to rescue groups. We use Butte Humane Society and some others outside of the area when we have an animal that's been identified as one that's highly adoptable, and maybe they specialize in, say, boxer rescue. If we have a boxer, we get a hold of the boxer rescue, German Shepherd, so on and so forth. So in addition to providing free dog tags, they microchipped over 58 pets free of charge, which was funded by Friends of the Chico Animal Shelter. You know, we had Walk Wag Woof this last year, and I think the goal was to raise 30 grand, and they hit that mark, $30,000. So let's give them a round of applause for helping us. The last thing I want to mention about the animal shelter is we had this goal of trying to clear out the shelter as quick as we could and as efficiently as we could. And we figured, you know what is it that maybe is a roadblock for some people for going and adopting an animal? And that is the fees associated to the adoption process. So I had this idea. I said, you know what, it's costing us more money to house this animal, take care of them, feed them, than it is with the money we get in return for the adoption fees. So I went to my boss and said, hey, boss, here's my idea. Just throw this out there. It costs us more money to keep this animal than it does to waive the fees and hopefully clear out these animals to a good home, clear out the shelter so that we have more space for any other animals that are coming in. He liked the idea. He's given me the thumbs up on that for over a year now. So that's been highly successful, and I'm sure you've seen on our social media when we say, hey, it's free adoption, February, come get an animal. It doesn't mean that we don't go through the process of making sure the animals are going to a good home. We still do the vetting process to make sure that occurs, because we don't want to give an animal to someone that shouldn't have them. But thank you to my boss for waiving those fees. It's helped us tremendously. And then here lastly, community outreach. So, a good police department always has a good community outreach program. And if I had more staffing, I'd have a complete community outreach unit. That's all they would do. So we met as a command staff and said, how is it that we can potentially have community outreach without having a community engagement team? Well, we put out this idea of how about each patrol team, there's 8 patrol teams, come up with a community engagement project throughout their rotation. They do 2 rotations of shifts a year. And these are some of the pictures from it, the things that we've done over the years. But if you followed the social media, you saw we did the Cool Down with a Cop, where we did a water balloon fight in the park over there off of East 20th Street. And we've done other events where the officers just show up at a large park where kids are and just start handing out some of our swag, talking with the kids, engaging with them, going to other community events that we typically do, like the Torch Run or Blue Santa, you name it. We've done a ton of those things, and that right there, it means a lot to the community, and it means a lot to me that we continue to engage with our community, show them the other side of the person wearing the uniform, and that we're just humans. We're just people that are living in this community. This is a job at the end of the day. We want to make it a safe place for every family, including ours, to live, work, and recreate. And with that, thank you all for your time.
I get to be around people every single day that come to work hard to support each other, to support our students. What could be a better job than that? Chico's a really cool town. Everybody cares about each other and cares about the town. Our students experience when they come to Chico, they see it as seamless between campus and downtown and the rest of the town. And hopefully the city and the residents see it the same way, and they come onto campus and see it as their university. As the leader of Chico State, I want to be able to share what's happening on campus and importantly how it impacts the city. As long as everybody's taking care of each other, it's going to be a good place.
Good morning, everybody. Full disclosure, I don't know that we've seen those videos that you all saw, and now I kind of wish I did because I took a peek and I think I might be wearing the same outfit as when I was on that. So apologize, it might be a different shirt. First, my name is Steve Perez. I have the privilege of serving as the president at Chico State, and it is a truly wonderful job. You heard some of it there. We're going to talk some more about it, and I'm going to tell a little bit about what we're doing and what we're looking forward to. But let me put a couple thank yous in. Thank you to Molly in the chamber, Casey in the city for including us in this. We take our role and responsibility as part of this community very seriously. You're going to see we're being recognized for it, and we think we're doing a good job. But what I know is you all are doing a good job. So this is the best audience I've ever seen. Y'all are sitting there, you're paying attention, you're listening, you're laughing at the jokes when you're supposed to, you're clapping at the applause lines, you're doing great. We're going to turn it up a notch. Right? This is now the crowd participation part of the program. So raise your paw if you're a Chico State Wildcat alum. Pause, we raise paws. All right, very good, very good. All right, if you are able, stand up. If any time in the last year you were kind to somebody else, you supported the city in any way, nobody stood up, seriously. If you did anything to make this a better place to live, work, learn, and recreate. Now I want you to look around the room. Look around the room. You see people that you know. You might see people that you don't know. You see people that you agree with. You probably see people that you have different opinions of and disagree with. But what you also see is a community that pulls together, works together, cares for each other, and makes sure this is a wonderful place to live, learn, recreate, and work. Right? And I want to thank you all for that, because you make it able for us to go out and sell Chico State, talk about Chico State and the college experience that we try to provide for our students every day as a very unique one in the state of California, and I'd say the best one in the state of California, and it's thanks to all of you. You can stay standing if you want, but sit down. Give yourselves a round of applause. So thank you. Thank you very much. Also, full disclosure, I don't remember what order my slides are in, so we're all going to find out together what we're talking about. As I said, we take our role as part of this community and as an economic generator, as something that helps our community. We take it very seriously. The CSU did an economic impact study last year to look at what we do as a system. We're part of a 22 campus system, over 460,000 students in the entire CSU, over 15,000 of them with us here at Chico State. And we're very proud of what we do. That is part of our job as a regional comprehensive university. The numbers for the CSU are huge. CSU's statewide impact, $31.6 billion a year in economic activity. What does that mean for Chico, though? Our regional impact is over $1.3 billion per year when you look at what we do economically and the ripple effects that it has out in the region. Industry activity, $934 million, $340 million in wages earned, and $75 million in state and local tax revenues generated by our employees and by our alums. And so we're very proud of this, and we want to do more of it, and we will continue investing in our community and making sure that this is as great a place as we possibly can. This slide I'm particularly proud of. I mentioned the super exciting words. I don't know if this is a propeller on the cap word or not, but the regional comprehensive university. That's what Chico State is. That means we do three things. We support our students with great educational opportunities, great academic programs, and a wonderful academic experience. And then we launch them into the world and hope that they're successful. We're recognized by the Carnegie Foundation. This is the foundation that looks at what universities do, looks at data of their outcomes and their impact, and classifies them in different regions. We're an opportunity college. That means we have high access from students. We accept a lot of students and from a lot of different backgrounds, from a lot of different socioeconomic backgrounds and a lot of different capabilities. We accept them in, then we teach them as much as we can. We have the benefit of being around them for a couple of years, then we launch them into the world. But not only do we have high access, the outcomes we have are significant. The increase in the level of wages that our alums earn is significantly high, and we're one of the best in the country. In fact, if I was looking at it right the other day, we are the best in the country at doing this. So we're an opportunity college. We support our student success. We're also a research college. Our faculty and our staff do incredible research and creative activities that is applied, important, regionally impactful, and regionally important, and we're recognized as that as well. In fact, we're one of only 38 universities in the country of our type that are recognized in both of these areas. But thank you. Recently, we applied to also be recognized as a community engaged university, to look at what our faculty and our staff do, and look at what our students do, and how it impacts our region and our community. And we're now recognized as a community engaged college. And so the three things that a regional comprehensive university does: student success, great work by our employees and our colleagues, and we support our region. We're now nationally recognized in all those areas. And that, as I said, that makes me very proud of what I get to do and who I get to work with. Enrollment. So we're talking about state of the city, state of the university. I've spoken here before. You all know we had a drop in enrollment. Well, we're coming back. And it's because, as I said, because of the work that you do and the things that you contribute to this community, that we can go out and tell students this is the place that you want to be. You may have read in the Enterprise Record this morning, and if you haven't, go home and read it. You'll see that we've also been recognized as one of the top online programs in the country. We have about 10% of our students that are fully online. But our bread and butter, and you can read it, Leslie Cornix, our provost, that she was interviewed in there, and talks about how it's important for us to do that, but it enhances our on-ground experience, our on-campus experience that our students have. And we're going out, it's working. We've increased enrollment for the last 3 years. That's the last 6 or 7. There we go. That goes better in a room of middle schoolers. 6, 7 semesters of positive enrollment growth. And we're getting there. We're very close to our funded enrollment target. We reached a threshold, a very important threshold this year, that we are not going to have a recalibration of our FTES, and we're not going to have our budget cut by the system because we're getting close to our enrollment target. It's hugely important. Campuses are better when there's students here. Cities are better when there's students running around. And the city is really, really poised and very, very special to us because we know you take care of our students, and we appreciate it very much. Budget looks okay. If you look at the governor's proposal from January, higher education did well. The governor recognized the importance of higher education across the state, what it means to the state, what it means to the communities that it's in. If that proposal goes through, it's going to be good for Chico State. So if you know anybody, talk to them and try to help us make sure that momentum carries forward. We're working very hard not just to bring students from outside of our region, but to also make sure that students in our region know that Chico State is here for them. That is our job. We've got guaranteed admission programs and we've signed them with 5 school districts to date. We'll sign them with as many more as we possibly can throughout our region. We have 17,000 student leads from these programs. We've gotten 313 applied and 286 more students are coming to Chico State because of this. We're now going to start reaching out to 9th, 10th, 11th graders as well and say, if you want to go to college, here's what you should be thinking about. And whether they come to us or not, we want to make sure that they know they have the opportunity to get a higher education degree if that's what they choose to do. We've also worked very hard with our community college partners. We've now visited all 7 campuses in our region, and if you've been to Lassen, up in Susanville, if you've been to Feather River College, if you've been to College of Siskiyous, you know they're far. It's a haul. And we're working very hard to make sure those students know they can be Wildcats, but we're also taking Chico State to them. We've got our advisors going to those campuses to help those students figure out what they need to do and sign partnerships with all of them. So we're also trying to take care of our region as well. And then we bring it home. Right? We are a strong resident of downtown. We're working really hard with the Downtown Chico Business Association, with the Chamber of Commerce, with everybody to say, what can we do to help downtown? How can we make it even more vibrant and across the city? We've got what we're calling Wildcat takeovers. We've done one at the Hatchet House. We did it at the ice rink, where we tell our students, go there. I think we did one at the Bear last year. It's super fun. You get to go out there and you can see, if you've ever wondered what it's like to ride on a Zamboni, you can see the picture. It's awesome. It's everything you think it is. And the guy tried to do a donut in the middle of the ice. It was super fun. We want to make sure our students are out there in your businesses, in your areas, having a good time, but also showing their support and their appreciation for all that you do. We're engaged in the Downtown Revitalization Project. We work with Explore Butte County. We're trying as hard as we can to make sure we can be good partners. So in the end, our enrollment's growing, our budget's getting better, our students we get to work with the best students in the world. If you've had them as interns, if you've had them as employees, you know they're smart, they're personable, they're hardworking, they're resilient. It's a pleasure to go to work with these students. We've got great colleagues, and we love being a part of this community. Thank you for everything that you do to make it possible for us to make Chico State a wonderful place. I think it's the greatest university in the world because of the stuff that you do. Thank you all. And now I know better than to, hold on. That you were right. That was an applause line. But let me one more thank you. Thank you to Metric for doing the videos. I only got to see a piece of it. Also, I don't know who chose the speaking order, but thank you for not putting me behind Annabelle. I don't want to speak after her, but also congratulations to Annabelle. We were at a Chamber of Commerce dinner last week, and she got a really, really cool award, and she deserved it, and she recognized her entire staff there as well. So thank you all. Thank you.
I love this job. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I could not imagine being anywhere else. I think they brought me here today to just talk about fun. Being out in the parks is more than just wellness and nature. It's about making memories and connecting with community. What could be better? Recreation and having spaces to connect and to make memories is one of the biggest factors in quality of life. To have these incredible amenities coming, I really hope everybody's as excited as I am. Hi, thank you. Thank you for the kind words, President Perez, and thank you all for being here with us today. I feel very privileged to be here. Okay, so I want to talk about what CARD has been doing to keep our community moving, playing, and having fun in our beautiful parks, open spaces, facilities, and unique spaces. So here it is, our mission. Our mission reads like a promise we actually intend to keep, providing recreation opportunities in a coordinated and cost-effective way. What does that mean? That means that we want to make sure that everybody in our community has an opportunity to play and thrive, and it's life-changing, right? This is why we all love to live in Chico. Okay, a little bit about us. We own a lot of real estate. Not as much as the city, but we have a lot going on. We have 6 community parks, 13 neighborhood parks, 4 community centers, a nature center, an observatory, the 1 public pool in town, aside from Sycamore Pool, a splash park. And oh, by the way, it's super affordable. It's free $99. We have an ice rink through a partnership with the city, and we have a bocce complex, and those people are serious about playing. So, last year, we hosted 20 community events. 17 of those events were free to the public. That's pretty incredible when you think of our small little district. Our incredible staff that do all this work. Our 4th of July parade doubled in size. Year 1, we had about 50 entries. This past year, we had 100. All right, so what have we been doing? What have we been doing at CARD? We offered over 100 camps. We had about 5,200 camp registrations, almost 2,000 unique campers. We taught 625 swimming lessons in that little but mighty pool, PV Center. And we had nearly 300 kiddos receive scholarships. That's pretty incredible. And our scholarships are growing, and that's in large part through the sponsorship of many of your businesses and organizations, and so we're very grateful. Okay, adult sports. You adults are rowdy. Somebody forgot to tell you it's rec league, and you all have to work the next day, so knock it off. You know who you are. You know who you are. We're very excited to serve about 40% of the youth in our town, whether that's through direct contact, camp sports, after-school program, or our free events. I'm very proud to say we have 85 families that we serve in our inclusion program, almost 500 seniors. Dave Donnan's one of them. Over 16,000 registrations, almost 1,800 programs, and another 1,600 visitors to our nature center. Excuse me. We welcomed Edgar, the raven. He likes to talk. You can call him Big Boy. He likes it. Okay, so let's talk about what else we did. We have, through our partnership with Butte County Youth Education and Sports Foundation, say that fast 3 times, they opened phase 1 of the project, right? A golf course. If you haven't been there, you should go. It's really fun and it turned out really beautiful. We also dedicated a field to the Chico Peppers. These groundbreaking women were getting it done. They're still so active and they're inspiring the next generation of young athletes. Through a partnership with the ARC of Butte County and Chico Noon Rotary, we installed inclusive play equipment at Rotary Centennial Park because we believe that everybody should get to play. And so we've got kids of all abilities spinning in that we go round together making memories. We can't do this alone. North Valley Community Foundation is helping us with our CARD Foundation to fundraise for our aquatic center and various other initiatives. Okay, so what's coming? The Chico Bike Park. This is for everyone who ever wanted to catch air without needing a plane ticket. This is a revolutionary project. When the park designers told us it was the best park in the nation, Scott Schumann said, tell me more. Tell me why. And they said simply because a bike park usually just is a bike park. But this park has play equipment, it has progressive learning, it's going to have concessions and food trucks, and it's got truly something for everybody. The Aquatic Center. We are overjoyed to be able to finally deliver this project to our community. It's not just important to our community, it's a regional draw, right? We CARD, and thanks to our board of directors, we're committed to making sure that every child has an opportunity to learn how to swim in our community. So we're very excited about this. You see this big green slide? That's the flight time slide. Okay, it's the first of its kind on the West Coast, and we have it here in Chico. We expect to complete this project in fall of 2026, so just a few months away. We are getting ready to send out a save the date because our big Mirtha pools are here. Yeah. Our Mirtha pool system is a pre-manufactured pool system that's going to ensure that we don't have to maintenance or resurface for 50 plus years. So we're pretty excited about that. Henshaw Park. Only been like, 3 decades in the making. It's had a sign out there that says, future home of Henshaw Park. Well, we're about 95% construction drawings, and we anticipate to also put this project out to bid and start it in 2026, hopefully complete it as well. Okay, so we've got these huge projects in the pipeline. So what's next? That's what my team said, what's next? And so we are dusting off our master plan. We just kicked off 3 community info sessions, very well attended. There's an online survey. We want to know what you all want, what the community wants. We know we have our ideas. I know Dave wants more softball. I know Luis wants more soccer, right? I know there's lots of needs and wants in the community, and we want to hear from you. And we will dust all that stuff off. We'll take it to our board. They'll give us their priorities, and then we have our marching orders going forward. So what does 27 look like? 28, 30? What does our community need? And so we're very excited to be able to hear from all of you with what your needs and wants are. Lastly, I just want to thank our community supporters and partners. The City of Chico has been an amazing partner. We're so grateful. Cal Water's been great. All of you have been great. And so we're just, again, so lucky to be here. The dealers of fun, the bringers of the good time. So thank you for having me.
I think this community is very accepting of independent small businesses. Not every town is like that. Small businesses make the community better. It's that personal touch, the personal service in this day and age that makes you keep going back somewhere local. I look for that when I'm out shopping, and I also think that's what has made Golden Valley Bank successful in the community as well. It's about service. The more entrepreneurial growth that we can support through financing is going to be our contribution to making Chico a better place.
Thank you. As mentioned in the video, my name is Quinn Velasquez, and I am the Chief Credit Officer at Golden Valley Bank. First off, I wanted to thank the City of Chico and the Chamber of Commerce for allowing the bank to participate with this panel of speakers up here. We've been part of the Chamber here in Chico for the entire time that we've been around, which is now 20 years here in the community. We have locations in Chico, Oroville, and now in Redding as well. I think being involved in the community and financing allows us a unique perspective to share some economic metrics with this group. I'm excited to talk about a couple of those with you today, what it looked like in 2025, and then maybe some of the things that I see going forward into 2026. So we partner with a nonprofit. It's called the California Center for Jobs in the Economy. They help aggregate economic data, and then we take that information, and on a quarterly basis, we kind of filter it down to what's important for our community, and we share that on our website. Let's talk about a couple of those metrics looking back at 2025. Unemployment rate. So we have 20 years of unemployment on here. What does that really mean? We have a big spike right in the middle. I imagine most of you can guess that that's from COVID, right? Artificial unemployment, lots of job losses. As we came out of that, boom, right back to a stable line. We ended the year at 6%. So something to keep in mind about unemployment. Most economists agree that between 4 and 7% is a healthy balance. We have that balance here in Chico and in Butte County. That's a good balance for job seekers, and it's a really good balance for business owners looking for talented employees. That's something that a lot of communities can't say they have and have this level of stability for this long period of time. Population. This is a unique one. We're going to have to watch this going into the future. We had stable growth. The collapse, that was the campfire. Over 15,000 structures lost up in Paradise, and we saw a lot of exodus out of our community. When I say our community, I mean our county, to other counties. You know, the impact on Chico was a little unique and different. We actually saw growth in the city of Chico, and I know it put a lot of pressure on our public services, put pressure on our roadways, a lot of the things that we're now improving. It's going to add a lot of value, but we're still having a challenge from a county level of keeping population growing. That's important for job creation, that's important for affordable housing, and it's important for all the businesses. 2025, we actually lost around 1,000 people net into the community. We want to continue to see that number grow. Growing is a healthy thing. Housing prices. Chico, for the third year in a row, we now averaged over $300 per square foot for residential housing purchases. Paradise is roughly 15% cheaper than Chico, and then Oroville is about 30% cheaper than Chico. I consider Paradise and Oroville bedroom communities, commuter communities to Chico. Why this is important. $300 per square foot is expensive. It's not incredibly affordable in a rural community like Chico. I think one of the things that we're going to have to look at as we continue to move forward, things that we can control in our community to make it more affordable and attractive, we need more housing. We're really talking about a supply and demand imbalance right now. We're doing a lot of those things. The panel up here is supporting a lot of growth. I know the community and business owners are supporting a lot of growth, but this is something we need to keep our eye on as we continue to move forward. We want to see those valuations come down. Mortgage rates. Mortgage rates, you see a spike in 2022. We're looking at about 10 years of interest rates here. A lot of you in this room may be familiar with the low interest rate environment. Maybe you locked in a mortgage at 2 or 3%. Those days are long gone. For the last several years, mortgage rates have stayed between 6 and 7%. Again, when it comes back to affordability, you think of a doubling in interest rates in the last several years combined with $300 per square foot, that makes it challenging for affordability. One bright spot, stable interest rates are better than volatile interest rates. So as long as we can stay in that 6 to 7% range, it allows business owners to make reinvestment decisions and have a clean and stable look at the future. That's going to be powerful. So we touched on a couple of economic metrics. If you ever want to understand what else is going on in the community, especially on a quarterly basis, all of these results are on our website at all the time, updated quarterly, www.goldenvalley.bank. Okay, as part of the economic results that we talk about, we also prepare a business confidence survey. So all of the tables in the room here have a snippet of that business confidence survey in front of you, if you want to take a look at that. What is this? We partner with several hundred local business owners twice a year to update survey results. Business owners in Chico. This gives us a good pulse on what's going on in the economy. What does outlook look like? Let's talk about some of those. This is an interesting one. Local business conditions and U.S. business conditions. A majority of the respondents, so these are business owners here in Chico, felt that business conditions going forward are going to be about the same or potentially a little softer into 2026. This is really business owners saying, hey, interest rates are high, housing costs are high. How do we attract more activity to Northern California? Maybe the outlook is a little challenging. Maybe we've lost some employees through population decline. Alternatively, those same business owners felt that nationally results were doing well. So there's a little bit of a dichotomy here. If you think about it, it could be some of those earlier slides where we saw population leaving Butte County. And maybe we see nationally some population declines in California. There's opportunities in the country. In 2025, maybe some of those opportunities just weren't as lucrative in Butte County or Northern California. We have one rural competitor to the north that all business owners here in Chico are competing for talent against and housing and affordability. That's Shasta County. That's Redding. Reading, on average, in 2025, had housing prices that were 30% cheaper than Chico. And houses generally, you get twice as much land in the Reading area as you do relative to Chico. So they're competing for our talent, they're competing for our housing, and they're competing against everybody in this room. Something to think about, right? I want to stay competitive with that. We have to be mindful of that. How do we attract and retain business and employees here in this community? Hot topic question. I like to ask business owners twice a year something new. Maybe it's a little controversial, or maybe it's what's on our minds right now. So the question that I asked in September of this year, tariff negotiations. We hear about it in the news every single day. They've resulted in increased costs for goods and services. So what happens next? Are increased prices here to stay? Are the prices temporary and tariff negotiations are going to result in costs coming down? Or are businesses actually going to be repatriated to the United States to avoid those tariffs, and we're going to get more job creation? I think it's telling and overwhelming that a majority of our business owners acknowledged or believe that tariff increases are here to stay. It's a part of our economy. They're not going anywhere. We have to live with increased costs. Interesting point. All in all, we had some headwinds in 2025, but I think this slide is really important to note. We take an aggregate of all the respondents out of all the questions that we ask in the semi-annual survey. As long as that bubble is green and north of 50, that's generally positive sentiment. So a majority of the business owners are telling us, telling everyone in this room, we have positive sentiment and outlook for Chico going forward into 2026. This is a good sign. So what's next? As we look forward into the next year, how do we prepare ourselves? How do we make ourselves more competitive? So some of you may have seen this before. Some of you are looking at this for the first time. This is the Fed dot plot. So those blue dots, what do they represent? Each Fed chairman gets one dot, and it's their job to predict where interest rates are going to go. So if you think about interest rates, that's how much you are going to borrow to buy a car, what you're going to spend to get a 30-year mortgage. They guess out for 2026, 2027, and 2028. Now keep in mind, the feds that are putting these dots on here, they're actually the governing body that makes interest rates decisions. So this is a really good insight into where they think the interest rate environment is going to move, especially over the next 12 to 24 months. Right now, Fed funds rate is at 3.5%. What they're telling us, if you look at this chart, they think over the next 12 to 24 months, interest rates are only going to come down by 25 to 50 basis points. So that's 0.5%. That's not material. Think about that. We're not going to get significant interest rate relief. If you were hoping for the 3 to 4% interest rate environment that we had back in the early 2020s, it's most likely not going to happen. Again, one thing it does give us is it gives business owners an opportunity to plan and prepare and look at what they need to provide to have entrepreneurial profit and reinvest in the community and reinvest in their businesses. It's not going to come from interest rate relief. Although we have headwinds, like I touched on here, I think Butte County and Chico especially is set up to be incredibly successful. Why? Over a lot of other communities, we have a very diverse industry base, right? The panel speakers up here represent that as well. We have healthcare, we have education, we have government, we have private industry, and we have agriculture. A lot of communities are not that diverse. And those are what helps keep a stable base here in Chico, especially with ag prices now that have stabilized in the last year or two. It's actually profitable to grow crops. The crops we see here in Northern California, rice, almonds, walnuts, they're at least making some money, and all those dollars go right back into the community and create more jobs. So all in all, we have a lot of things to look forward to in 2026. I'm really excited about where we're going to go, and I appreciate your time here today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so as we close up today, I just wanted to extend my thanks to first our panel. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I would like to thank the Chico Chamber Board of Directors. Once again, the City of Chico for partnering with us on this event. The Chico Area Recreation and Parks District for giving us such a beautiful facility for today. I would also like to recognize those who helped make today possible. So Jody Drysdale and her team at CES Events. The team at Metric Cosmetic. Bidwell Perk for all the delicious food and coffee. And lastly, for each and every one of you, you contribute to this community and the successes we have in our future. I cannot tell you how much I look forward to working with all of you, and I just am so excited about the bright future we have ahead of us. So thank you all so much, and have a great rest of your day.